Hello, welcome back to the Vegan Runner. You join me today in the very beautiful Shaldon. Across the way there you can see Timber. We're going along the coast today to Torquay, about 4 or 5 miles before heading back. So it should be around about a 9-mile trip along the Southwest Coast Path. This is episode 2, the long awaited episode 2 of the Southwest Coast Path series. And I'm also running today in my very first run in the Solomon S-Lab Ultra Free. Gonna give those a try today and see how they get on. Rach is coming along too. Yay! First up is a little run through the Smuggler's Tunnel. I used to love coming down here as a kid. It was really creepy and scary. Right, we're above Ness Beach now, running along the coast. It's a beautiful day.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin.
There's the beauty of a hill. It's huge. Now it's been a little while since I made a video. Sorry about that. But life got very busy in the last few months. For making videos for YouTube, I had to fall along the wayside a little bit, so sorry for that. That's awesome, eh? Look at that view.
Golden things. Gold hair. Gold rings.
I am still following the 80-20 program, so do need to be careful about my heart rate going over, which my watch has just said it is. It's gone above 165. So I'm not afraid to walk the hill a little bit. Right, so today's run's pretty special for lots of reasons. Trying some new shoes, that's always good. And of course, being on the Southwest Coast Path is always a privilege. But in a couple of miles' time, maybe you'll remember if you've been following the channel for a while, one of my goals this year was to run 1,000 miles before the end of the year. And amazingly, I've never done this before. I've run 1,000 miles in a year for the first time. But I've done it in August. So in a couple of miles' time I'll be reaching that milestone, 1,000 miles for the year. And it's been great, really good year of running so far. I largely put that down to following the 80-20 program, following the 80-20 plans, which see me running a lot more, still doing speed work, all those good things, but slowing the mileage right down. Hello. Hi. There is some elevation on this course. Whew. Lots of steps. Almost impossible to keep the heart rate in range here.
at the moment. Hopefully it'll settle out a bit.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mount Laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
So, why no videos in such a long time? Well, absolutely loads going on in life. Mostly exciting stuff. It was one of the kind of busiest periods of work just ever. Just absolutely crazy. Workload and everything else. Never really experienced anything like it in the past 10 years of my career. But I suspect a lot of people are saying that at the moment with the pandemic and everything. But excitingly, just before the Dorney half marathon, which I'll talk about in just a second, that was brilliant. Just before that, my wife and I put in an offer on our first house. Actually, just as we were driving up to Windsor to do the Dorney Lake half marathon, we got the call saying that our offer had been accepted. So the past 11 weeks or so, it's been all go with sorting out where we're currently living, reducing everything down. We're trying to move with as few possessions as possible, so we don't have to hire a removals company. Here's another steep hill. Hello. Hello. I need it. Here we go. Steep hill climbed, steep hill down. Yeah, so my wife and I have basically been selling all of our possessions, which meant most weekends driving here and there to drop things off, or people coming around to collect things. We're moving into a smaller property from the one we own now, which is driving the kind of downsizing, but been looking a little bit more into minimalism recently, which goes quite well with veganism and trying to reduce the amount of consumption and our impact on the natural environment around us. So kind of downsizing, getting into the idea of not buying as much, not needing as much. So there's been a lot going on, but I'm glad to say that one thing that had stayed strong and consistent is my training. So definitely not going to let running drop. things get busy. So yeah, my last big race was Dorney Lake's half marathon a few months ago now, 2 months ago, something like that. And there's a lot to say about it. Maybe I'll do another video about it one day. Maybe too much time has passed, but it went really well. The training really kicked in. My PB going into it was something like 1:26:47, something like that. And I ran Dorney, managed a 1:19. I think it was just under 1:19, which I was amazingly pleased with. I didn't know really until a couple of weeks before the half marathon, when I went out to do a test as a workout. It's kind of like an 8-mile race pace kind of session. It's part of the 80-20 training program. I didn't really know what pace I was capable of until that session. I never imagined myself running that when I started the program. I would have been happy with, shaving about 30 seconds off, and only about 6 minutes or so. So now we're deep into marathon training. So I'm running Manchester in October. I think it's the week after the London Marathon. Yeah, so I'm about 9 weeks into a 18-week training program. It's 80-20 level 1, and it's very similar to the 80-20 half marathon program, except obviously you're running a little bit longer on the long run days. We're structured very similarly. 2 speed sessions a week for foundation, or rather 3 foundation runs, recovery runs, and then 1 long run. The only sort of major difference really between the two is that whereas the half marathon training program, or your long runs, you're running to time, so it'll be an hour run or an hour and a half. For some reason with the marathon plan, the long runs are distance based. Now that's typical of most marathon plans. Do need to check why there's a difference between the two, but this week has been a recovery week, so that's why today's long run's only about 9.5, 10 miles long. Which way? Hi. Hello. So yeah, that was really fun. Just a great event really altogether. So much good support. I ran the London Landmarks a couple of years ago, and we just don't really get that down here. In the races that I do, usually like trail runs and things, you're lucky if you've got one man and his dog sort of clapping you on as you go past. But to have the sort of streets lined with people cheering, clapping, it's great fun. It was nice to see a few other vegan runners there as well. So, hello again. Tried to cheer you on, shout at a couple of you as you cross the line. And yeah, first run in the Solomon S-Lab Ultra Free shoes, which pretty lovely actually. Did a little bit of braking in. About 3 or 4 miles into my run now, and the right shoe seems to have softened up a bit. It's quite firm to start off with. My sole was aching just a touch, but that's typical when I try on a new shoe for the first time. That happens quite a bit. But now it's softened up now. The grip's great. Pretty slick mud today. The only time I've slipped really is going uphill. I'm just like on the very sort of tippy toes, sometimes on kind of very slick sections. I've lost my way, but otherwise really comfortable. Confident grip, lightweight. Yeah, I think they're a shoe you could run in for a long time. But then, according to my Garmin, I'd like to come up to something called Petit Tour. Which I think is French for small tour. There it is. I wasn't expecting to find a tour today, but again, despite its hilliness, it doesn't lack views, this one. Well, that's a perfect place to just have a video. I had no idea there was a what's it called? Cliff railway here at Babbacombe. Awesome, that's a good way of getting down to the beach. You can see why they built it. It's so steep up and down the valley here. That's awesome. About 5 miles in now as well, so seems like a good place to turn around. Probably won't film all that much on the way back because it's an out and about kind of thing that I'm doing today. So yeah, 5 miles out, 5 miles back. I'll spare you from seeing all the same stuff again, but I reckon just give you an idea of the route and everything. I've done about 4.5, 5 miles in just under an hour. It should give you some idea of how steep it is. Normally I'll be running 5 miles in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. 40 minutes, something like that. So yeah, very steep. If you're hill training, perfect. If you're looking for an easy run, not the best part of the trip, but beautiful nonetheless. Right, probably do a little bit of filming, but otherwise I'll see you when we get back to Sheldon. easy again. Now looking towards Timber, Dawlish behind. Excellent. Struggling on the way back here. I think it's just a really steep hill and the other way just really caught me off guard really. Feeling really hungry, a little bit dehydrated. I wasn't quite prepared for this one. But there you go. I think we're nearly back, about a mile or so. So I'll just keep walking the inclines and gently jogging steep declines. We're nearly there. Let's crack on. Hard work today, even the downhills. Tricky. There's that last mile in about 18 minutes. Really struggling to get going. Yeah, that's what it's like sometimes. It's not always easy. It'd be boring if it was. But just trying to conserve energy now and not push it too hard. It's supposed to be a kind of recovery run. It certainly hasn't been. It's just been far too steep. I'll plan the next one a bit better. Well, that view's the up makes up for the slog. It's been this run.